24 hours a day, 52 weeks a year, F-15 pilots and crews stand alert, ready to respond to any penetration of their aerial shield. When the balloon goes up, they go. It may just be an exercise, a stray aircraft, or the real thing. Any interceptor must be clearly a defender. Defenders cannot choose their opponent or when he will strike. They cannot choose the speed of their fight, or the altitude, or the place. They cannot choose, so they must be ready.
Basically, when the horn first goes off, you're pretty much just interested in getting down to your airplane and getting started and ready to go as fast as you can. And after that, you maybe have a little bit of time to think about what you're going to do. Usually about 2 minutes after you start, you also know whether it's priority 1 or priority 2 scramble.
To survive and win in air combat maneuvering, you have to be able to take on any adversary. He can and will choose the terms. But the Eagle can go where it's needed, day or night, good weather or bad. This is why the U.S. Air Force assigned the F-15 to NATO's central region in Europe. Their mission is to control the skies so that other aircraft can provide the support needed to win the ground war. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 4 F-15 Eagles are on air defense alert at Bitburg Air Base, Germany. They sit at the end of the runway in the Zulu Alert facility, armed and ready to fly and fight on a moment's notice to protect NATO skies. With the East German border within 15 minutes flying time, Zulu Alert at Bitburg helps protect more than 40,000 square miles of sky over southern Germany. Zulu Alert is a peacetime mission, but when the call comes to scramble, not one man knows for sure what threat he'll face. Germany's frontline defense pilots play each one for real. Within minutes, Eagles are climbing faster than any aircraft in the world to meet the aggressor.
In the block, 15 to 18. 4 cut off ID. Fuzzy 4, fence check. Fuzzy 4, confirm fence check.
Fuzzy 4, fence check.
Fuzzy 4, low Christian target, 33020.
For 20 miles.
Contact target.
Fuzzy 4, Judy, 330, 20 miles.
Roger, Judy. Fuzzy 4, clear to fire.
Fuzzy 04 is cleared to fire.
Mako 1, green target.
10 miles.
Fuzzy 4, 10 miles.
Nomad 3. 10 mile 3, Toledo.
The Eagle was conceived and designed for one purpose: to be the world's best interceptor aircraft with one straightforward mission: to intercept, identify, and if necessary, destroy any hostile aircraft or missile penetrating their area of responsibility. At any altitude, at any speed, in any weather, at any time, against any foe. There is just one best fighter today: the Eagle. Maintaining aircraft on alert requires constant readiness, training, and preparation for wartime aerial combat. Under ideal conditions, it's a test of man and machine. In today's world, where the ideal is seldom achieved and complete use of each resource is imperative, maintaining the edge in air combat is not a matter of luck. It's a result of professionalism in every aspect of squadron life. From administration to avionics, from maintenance to munitions, from the flight line to the front office, it's the kind of job that requires only the best of man and machine and takes both to their limits and then beyond. together setting new standards of performance.
Mission today, Felix Gold. Our objective is to engage all targets that transcend our assigned area of responsibility. Weather. Standard Washington weather right now. 20,000 scattered, 4,000 broken, 8,000 overcast. The big thing is out in the area, how it's going to affect the missions out there, and we'll move cap altitudes and cap positions in order to avoid the weather out there. Desired objectives is to kill everybody out there in our airspace.
I'd say, as anyone gets a commit, go shoot them. If it's 30 miles or less, don't try handing it off, because what we had last night was he's out there, turn around, and another guy come in and not get the target. So if you've got the firm commit, you need to go shoot the target, be the killer, and get them and not wait for the handoff. Because in that confusion, we've lost a few targets. Let's concentrate on killing tonight. Did some good flying last night, but tonight we want to do a little more killing.
To have an outstanding flying machine and deadly weaponry is a help, but pilot quality is the most important asset, which can only be attained by first-class training. Having an aircraft with the ability to outfly any actual or projected fighter in the world is not enough. The F-15 pilot must be able to outfight them. To achieve such a task requires the best that both men and machines can deliver, constantly honed to razor-edge sharpness. For Eagle drivers, maintaining that critical edge can only be accomplished by flying realistic combat training.
Green target. 22, clear to fire. Echo 1, green target.
Right on the deck. Talk about 210, 5 miles. Right, watch one guy breaking out to the east now, one guy on the west.
22, target 025.
I got him. Going the other way.
22, target 03.
He's no threat to you now. He's no threat. Overhead.
22, roger duty.
I can't do anything about it. I have 300 knots. I got it. Okay, there's lift 5 right then. Okay, forget it. He's on me. 3 o'clock down. I've got him. Over nose high. And Fokker still high. You got to push your work in your low at 6. Fokker 8 tall left 4. Start turn on the reversal.
Box 1 on the inside, nose down.
8 tall on the turkey in the left turn. Jake Bergie on the left side. I got him.
3.5 minutes.
Homer's out of here. F4 belly, left side, 10 o'clock.
You got F4.
Left side, turn right this way. You got a turkey high, which are 8 o'clock. Bring it around hard. Keep it back hard. Push right. Alright, I got it. Hawk's got a
That's all on the
30 degree
F4.
8 on the F14 on starboard through 240.
Okay, let's find the Phantom and kill him.
I think the Phantom just joined the fight, headed north. Okay, got it.
The Eagle's weapon system gives it long-range eyes to acquire, identify, track, and fire on a hostile aircraft before it sees him. With its Hughes radar, the Eagle can patrol more than 100,000 square miles per hour and look up at a high-flying intruder or look down to see an aircraft attempting a ground-hugging penetration. The Eagle is armed with the latest version of the radar-guided AIM-7 Sparrow and heat-seeking AIM-9 Sidewinder missile, along with a 20-millimeter cannon, firing up to 6,000 rounds per minute. In Europe, where the distance to the border is short, the Eagle can climb 12 miles in less than 2 minutes after leaving the ground. Nothing short of a rocket will get off the line and into action as fast and when speed is required. The F-15 can deliver at more than 2.5 times the speed of sound.
Okay, time back. I've got.
We spend about an hour in the pre-flight briefing talking over our mission.
Okay.
We'll go over the positions for the flight, the maneuvers we'll be using, and review the radio procedures.
We'll depart the building at 8:10. Start at 8:30.
Essentially, everything we're going to do, we'll cover in that briefing.
0402. Flying LFI 200 profile out to Eagle.
One day we might have aerial gunnery practice. The next day we might go out and do intercepts. Or we may do intercepts, air refuel, and then come back and do some ACM. Today we'll be flying air combat tactics against other aircraft.
Eagle Control, Dragon 1, taxi aircraft 0025. Right.
Technically defined, our role here is air defense in the central region. We would envision any attack by the Warsaw Pact countries would be led primarily by their fighter bomber type aircraft with attacks on our resources, whether it be our airfields or our armor or ground forces, whatever. They would also, we would envision, be accompanied by some sort of cover, their high-performance big aircraft. And our mission, of course, is to defend against that. We would attempt to turn those attacks back.
Well, the first question is, if we don't have any prior knowledge, which we normally don't, when the horn goes off, as to what we're actually scrambling against, whether it be an airliner who's just lost and off course, or whether it's some enemy threat that is challenging European airspace.
Averaging this year a total of only 4 points a game, and he has 4 already.
15 at 30,000.
Contact bogey.
Most of these scrambles are practice and usually occur once a day. But about once a week, the F-15s must intercept an unidentified aircraft.
With the KC-10 Dizzy 1-1, we'll be refueling twice en route to Tyndall, taking on approximately 17,000 pounds of gas. South of Aberdeen, South Dakota, we'll split from the KC-10 and proceed to Tyndall on our own. Any further questions? Let's go.
The combat radius of the F-15 can be extended with the low-drag conformal fuel tanks known as fast packs. These streamlined pallet tanks installed along the fuselage can carry about 10,000 pounds of fuel, or 227 cubic feet of equipment, with no reduction in the armament stations. This additional fuel gives the F-15 greater mission flexibility, lower high-speed runs, and more time in the air. When distance is required, unrefueled and configured with external tanks, the F-15 has flown 5-hour missions, and with mid-air refueling has flown non-stop from the American Midwest to Europe.
It looks like 20 minutes till the rendezvous with the F-15. Roger.
20 feet. 10 feet. 9-6 contact. 9-1, you're taking fuel. Yes, sir, you're taking 2,500 pounds a minute. 8-4, disconnect now. 8-4 has a disconnect, boom's clear.
Stand by, the air-to-air tack cannon, stand by. And the most important thing, the slipway door is going to come open. Roger that. It's open. Eagle 7 pre-tone. Contact stabilized and ready.
Roger, you cleared to the contact position. 3-2 ready. 15 feet. 10, 5, 3, 2, good.
Every 2 years at Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida, U.S. Air Force, Air National Guard, and Canadian Top Guns gather for America's major fighter weapons meet. William Tell gives the best air-to-air fighter pilots the chance to compete in all aspects of their trade. That means not just flying, but also aircraft and munitions maintenance, and serviceability, and ground control intercepts. In one of the mission profiles, Eagles make head-on missile attacks on a converted F-100 Super Sabre, now flying as an unmanned target drone. Ground-based weapons controllers lead the pilots through electronic countermeasures, chaff, and evasive maneuvers to find the target drone. You can judge the results for yourself.
Echo 1-1 Fox.
Fox. 72, Fox 1. 72, Fox 1. Fox.
301, Fox 1.
72, Fox 1. Turn the drone. Drone
301, Fox 1.
Turn the drone. Drone's turning.
F-15 pilots are also confronted with simulated air-to-air threats, and with hands-on use of the latest weapons, participants gain experience and knowledge on a whole range of air operations. It's the closest thing to combat, short of actual combat. F-15 pilots and crews regularly participate in another tactical air command exercise called Red Flag. They and their support units deploy to Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, to be a part of a combat training exercise that involves more than 23 aircraft types, 300 total aircraft, and 4,500 missions. Its aim is to provide a fighter unit with as realistic a combat environment as possible. Before any missile is launched or any gun is fired, they must be loaded. Ground crews spend hundreds of hours practicing for these exercises. The performance of the ground crew is as critical to the success of the mission as any flying which will be done by the pilot.
Because we've got plenty of them left over. We can buy those, we can sell them. It'd be hard to sell them now.
Our objectives today are to employ a wall of eagles for maximum attrition of all the floggers. We want to work on our visual mutual support as a four-ship, and certainly work on our comm.
Remember, the mission out here in 1st Air Force and in the FIZ is attack warning and assessment. To be able to do that, we have to identify anyone entering this zone around Iceland.
Our job is to get the escort, strip them, and then let the other guys go for the strikers.
The name of the game today, gentlemen, is going to be emphasizing all aspect weapons employment, us and not them, and BVR will be authorized, so I'd like to see us out there employing front aspect shots, taking people out.
We want to target max number of entities, maintain four-ship mutual support, maintain visual element support, accept 0 losses. Everybody's job in here to kill their sort and then kill somebody else.
Remember, you have the AIM-7, the AIM-9, as well as the gun. When you're in too close for a missile shot, close for guns. Take that snapshot. Think about separating. Continue to press the bandit. Questions? Let's do it.
To make combat training as realistic as possible, missions are flown against dissimilar aircraft. Aircraft of other Air Force units, as well as carrier-based naval aircraft. In these scenarios, the enemy may be simulated, but the action is real. In all air combat, the variable is always the pilot. How much maneuver potential he extracts from his aircraft will determine his success in the engagement. The trick is to keep his head out of the cockpit, to reduce his reaction time, to fly the aircraft instead of watching over it, to spend less time with the machine and more time with the fight outside. Keeping track of his enemy is the key to staying alive. You can bet his adversary knows what he can do and how he's likely to do it. Having heard it in the classroom is a lot different than being there.
Roger, Ace, take it north. Close out, warning yellow, weapons hold. I repeat, warning yellow, weapons hold. Alpha Bravo out. Roger, Gypsies, pass up Bravo, directs. Two sections of combat spread, move tight.
Got F-7s and F-14s coming in south of the field, right on the deck. Looks like about 210 for 5 miles.
Right, watch, one guy's breaking out to the east now, one guy to the west.
Outpost Tally-Ho, Hugs Tally.
Okay, Tally-Ho.
Tally-Ho, I got him.
Going the other way. Okay. He's no threat to you now. He's no threat.
Overhead.
I'm back. I can't do anything about it. I ain't 300 knots.
I got him. Okay, there's an F-5 right down.
Okay, forget it. He's on me.
3 o'clock down.
I've got him.
Nose high. And Parker, still high. You got to check your work and your low. It's Parker, 8 tall, left 4, port turn on the reversal. Box 1 on the F5, nose down. 8 tall on the turkey in the left turn. Take Bergie on the left side. Might be
I got him.
3.5 minutes. Over's out of here. F4 belly, left side, 10 o'clock.
Thunder, you got an F-14.
Port turn northeast left. You got a turkey high at your 8 o'clock. Bring it around hard. Keep it back to hard. Port turn in. I got him. Hawk's got a...
That's all on the
30
F4.
degree power on the F-14 going starboard through 240.
Okay, let's find the Phantom and kill him.
I think the Phantom just joined the fight, headed north. Okay, got a turkey left.
Need a call on the, hey, dog, let's break it left. We got an F-14 behind us. Break it left.
Okay, break Thornton down.
I kick you right 4 o'clock. Yeah, Tally-Ho, his nose isn't on me, but I'm in deep trouble here. Oh, we're gonna bail you out, man. I'll get on his way. Okay, he's got about 50 to go with his nose. Okay, drag your knees.
Okay.
Okay, he's pitched off on the Maybury at back starboard, dog. And Pearl, you're about to get gunned. Oh, what a beautiful shot.
Okay, Tally-Ho,
I got him.
Going the other way. Okay.
Eagles have long range to get to the action wherever it is. The ability to pace and conserve for the crucial moment, and then deliver the knockout punch to come away with the victory.
Okay, forget it. He's on me. 3 o'clock down. Okay, the Hawks got the tally on him. Okay, Tally-Ho, one's passing my left side now. One coming up on you. There's one high.
Okay, F5 down the left. Got him 7.
Okay, ball on the turkey in the left turn.
That's on the Phantom. There's the guns on the F-14. Okay, got him 20 right at 4 miles.
He's out of here. F4 belly, left side, 10 o'clock. You got a turkey high at your 8 o'clock. Bring it around hard. Keep it back to hard. Port turn in. I got him. Hawk's got a...
That's all on the
30
F4.
degree power on the F-14 going starboard through 240.
Okay, let's find the Phantom and kill him.
I think the Phantom just joined the fight, headed north. Okay, got a turkey left.
Need a call on the...
Tally engaged.
Hey, dog, let's break it left. We got an F-14 behind us. Break it left.
Okay, break Thornton down.
I kick you right 4 o'clock. Yeah, Tally-Ho, his nose isn't on me, but I'm in...
Knock this one off.
I think we pressed him pretty good that time. Okay, he's got about 50 to go with his nose. Rocky Blues are RTB VFR.
Copy, and pigeons 24048.
Roger that.
I think we pressed them pretty good there.
There are more ways to get killed flying fighters than in practically any other human endeavor. Even so, the Eagle reached the millionth flight hour milestone with the safest record of any fighter in the history of the United States Air Force. It continues to hold the record, with only 4.1 F-15s lost per 100,000 flight hours. Pilots at Schusterberg Air Base in the Netherlands have passed 50,000 flight hours without a single major accident.
The F-15 is by no means unseasoned. It was first flown in July of 1972, beginning more than 2 years of arduous company and Air Force testing. Early in 1975, during an operation called Project Streak Eagle, the fighter smashed 8 existing world time-to-climb records from 15,000 feet to 100,000 feet. In doing so, the Eagle proved it could outclimb and out-accelerate any fighter threat in existence. It is clearly proven to be a unique aircraft, the most advanced and most maneuverable high-performance fighter ever developed.